Good evening, viewers. We have a special guest in the studio tonight. This is Olivier Vedrine. He's a speaker for EU Commission and also a professor of politology. He's been taking active part in events on Maidan, and he's here tonight with us to offer his opinions from what he has experienced here so far, and well, analyze the situation for us as well, and let us know what is the perspective from his point of view of the current situation. Hello, Olivier.
Hello, thank you for your invitation. I am very happy to be here. Yes, as you said, I took part in this revolution since the second day, and I am very happy to give to you some part of my analysis about this situation now, which is very interesting for Europe and for the rest of the world, of course.
Thank you. I think the main topic probably for tonight, or at least, well, it's currently quite a big deal, is the last night's UN Security Council meeting that Russia has called at the last minute. It happens 10 p.m. And obviously the outcome of the meeting, what were the parties saying, and what was the general sort of opinion of the results of the event. I think I would like to obviously ask your opinion. What do you think on Russian rhetorics, on what they keep claiming that Yanukovych is a legitimate president, and he has. Well, I think that's one of the main points that Russia trying to bring across last night. That Yanukovych has asked them for military assistance, and that's why they're calling for a meeting.
I said to a previous interview that for me this is only a rhetoric. This is only a rhetoric. This is like when you are interested about history, you can see that we have the same strategy that we had during the Soviet Union. The same strategy, and we face a play between EU, US, and Russia, and they are playing, and Russia is playing, and I think this is a big rhetoric.
Okay. So you wouldn't think that Putin is ready to go the full stretch and actually proceed with the invasion, like a full-scale invasion of Crimea, or trying to provoke a situation where he would convince himself that it would be just now?
I think he wants to secure his position at Sevastopol. And he wants to be sure that he will have Sevastopol for his strategic interest. This military basis is very important for Russia to have Sevastopol as a military basis. I don't believe he wants to invade a large part of Ukraine. That would be a very bad idea. That would be a big crisis in Europe and for the rest of the world. And also, if you see the economy of Russia and how the ruble is going down now, and the stock exchange on Moscow is going down also, you cannot do a big war if you don't have a strong economy to help you. And for me, Putin wants to be sure that he will stay in Sevastopol, but I don't think he wants more. I don't think he wants to go to the whole eastern part of Ukraine, because this will be a war, and you know that a war is not a good deal for Europe and for Russia and for the rest of the world.
So you're not worried by the fact that, like Angela Merkel has mentioned, that it looks like Putin has lost touch with reality, that he's not living in the same world as we do, and he's looking at the things in a twisted manner, so he doesn't comprehend the realistic situation of how it is? Or you think this is just all a play to show that?
I think we are in a very past view of the world. I think Putin now think that the world, and he's right, the world now is more and more multipolar. And this is not the multipolar world of the 19th century, because for him, he thinks that will be like a new world of the 19th century. And he thinks like something like a 19th century strategist, 19th century. And this is the new world of the 21st century, will be multipolar world, but not with the same tools to understand that we had in the 19th century. That, I think this is a mistake of the strategy of Putin. And I think really is the man of the past. And Angela Merkel is right when she said that it's unrealistic way of thinking. Yes, it's not a present view of thinking. And but you know, Russian mentality can be very irrational, and maybe we are assisting in irrational emotion and reaction.
Okay. Well, it's a very encouraging view. I think that we all pray that this is the sort of thinking that he has, because obviously it's difficult to deal with a madman, a person who really doesn't realize the consequence of his own actions. Because obviously if the war has big consequences behind it.
Yeah, and I think he realized that. That's why I think he will not go far away, because you know that if you go far away, well, Poland and not some of the state on the border of Ukraine will intervene, and if they will intervene, it means NATO will intervene. It will be.
Yes, I suppose he also has China on the other side to be worried about, who could also take part in
yes,
some way.
But China need more US than they need Russia for economy.
Yes.
And China will need more US in the future than Russia, I think.
What is your view on the fact that China has been staying out of it so far, and the only statement that they've made was that, well, they are hoping for peace, they think that everything should be solved peacefully, but they haven't mentioned Russia in any context. They didn't say that, well...
Yes, they are waiting, and this is a good position for China. They are waiting and they are seeing who will win, and they will. But as I said, I think China is need more US for economical reason than Russia. Even if you have the raw materials from Russia, they need more US, and that's why Russia and that's why China is waiting, because China doesn't want to take the wrong way, and that's why China didn't mention Russia in her speech.
Okay, seems fair. What do you think about our realistic chances of evicting Russians from Sevastopol? You know, the evicting the fleet when it was supposed originally to leave on 2017. Do you think it's realistic for Ukraine to do it peacefully and make Russians leave, or you know that? What's your opinion on that?
I think Russia will stay on Sevastopol, because for Russia it's a very important strategic basis, and they will do everything to stay here. And I think that will be the key issue of the negotiation, Sevastopol. And because for the strategy of Russia to have Sevastopol, this naval base on this place is very important. And I think they will do everything to keep these bases. And I think that will be the key issue of the negotiation. Yeah.
Okay. So you think that we'll have to allow Russia to stay if we want the Crimea to be the part of Ukraine?
I think we have to negotiate. This is your government who have to take this decision. But and that's mean EU, US, from bad scenario. And but if I think like a Russian people, Russian strategists, if I think like that, if we think like that, we know that they want to keep Sevastopol. Yeah. I think they don't take care about Crimea and they don't take care about the other subject, but they really take care about Sevastopol. Yeah.
Okay, that's the state they hope to get here.
For me, this is really the key issue. Sevastopol.
Okay, well, I think that obviously would be a positive development if that's all they want, and if we can somehow negotiate on that accord.
But you need to negotiate, you need to have something to negotiate. And to have Sevastopol, if you negotiate all Crimea, this will be more easy for you.
Yes.
Okay? Then they are all Crimea, and now they negotiate only for Sevastopol, I think. And but if they have all Crimea, that would be more easy for the Russians to negotiate. Okay? And I think this is really key issue with Sevastopol. For me, this is Sevastopol, right? And you talk about Yanukovych, but I think Yanukovych is only, a tool of Putin in this game.
And what do you think? Do you think Putin still have plans for Yanukovych, or pretty much Yanukovych has played his role and is now sort of disposable for Putin? Do you think that Putin still sees some use in Yanukovych in terms of like keeping him alive?
I think Putin used Yanukovych like an instrument only.
Oh yes, I agree with that assessment.
I think Putin doesn't take care about Yanukovych really. He uses Yanukovych as a tool to make his own policy. This is politics, normal, in point of view of politician, but nothing else.
Because it now looks like it's starting to get damaging to Putin's personal image, that he's, I'm not talking about in the past, just even in his own country, that he's being associated with Yanukovych, who is a former criminal, and obviously Putin is a former KGB officer.
You are right, because for the public opinion, that means that Putin is the sponsor of the political view of ANC, of Yanukovych. That's all the people understand now that Putin is in favor of corruption, of non-justice system, and of all the Yanukovych system, and that's really bad, I think, for the image of Putin, because if now everybody know and see that he is in favor of the Yanukovych system, because he's the sponsor of the Yanukovych system in this policy now, and it's very bad. And I think the consequences of that will be very bad for the future of the policy of Putin. And we will see that very quickly, because he did the Olympic game on Sochi to have a good image, and now with what's happened here, he lost all the investments he did in Sochi. And that's really stupid. But, as I said, this is, I think, in a way of thinking of, irrational way of thinking of what we can see sometime in Russian or Slavic mentality.
Okay. And what do you think about the latest appointments of Ukrainian oligarchs to be the heads of regional administrations? Like, have you heard that Kolomoisky, which one of the biggest, richest people in Ukraine, he has been appointed as the governor of the Dnipropetrovsk region, and Sergei Taruta, which is another oligarch, he was appointed as the governor of Donetsk region. Officially, the Turchinov who's now fulfilling the presidential role, is saying that this is done in order to stabilize the region, sort of help those people to get involved and use all their financial resources in order to help keep the Ukraine stable. Do you think it's a good move on the part of the government to appoint those people to be the heads?
This is a very difficult question, but I think 55% yes, 55% only. It's not very much, but 55% yes. I think the president took a good decision, because you know that those men that business here in this area in Donetsk, in this part of Ukraine, they have a lot of influence, and of course the new government need influence, and they know that the money is the biggest influence for those countries. Then that can be a good choice. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I tend to agree with that as well. And we need everyone on our side in this time.
And they have the money and they can have the influence in this part of Ukraine. And if the oligarch can help the new government, the oligarch are welcome.
I think Putin actually took it personally when this oligarch Kolomoisky, who was appointed the head of the Dnipropetrovsk region, he called him and Yanukovych, said that this is a pair of lunatics. And Putin actually responded today, indirectly responded today to that quote during his press conference. He said that Kolomoisky has lost his mind, and he also blamed Maidan to be anti-Semitic, which was quite surprising, as there is a wide array of evidence, and that there are there are a lot of Jewish people there, regardless of nationality or regardless of face, there are different people on Maidan, and we even had a Jewish sanctuary, which is like 100 people who organize a part of self-defense, and they are basically. And even the right sector, who said is like the far-right nationalists, they have said that they have nothing against Jewish people, and it's kind of strange. After all that information is out there, Putin still tries to blame people in Ukraine for being anti-Semitic.
We are now between the US, European Union, Russia. We are in a war of communication. Everything can be used for propaganda.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think one of the in my opinion, something that Putin still doesn't realize, that this actually is the 21st century, and everything is documented. So people are out there streaming live on their mobile phones and taking pictures. All that is uploaded on the internet in real time. And that's why the claims these are not Russian soldiers, but the self-defense unit, Crimean self-defense unit, don't really work for that long, because all it takes is for pictures to be published.
Yes, but this is propaganda who comes from the Soviet Union.
Yeah, so it's an old school.
Old school, yeah, very classic old school. Yes, of course. For me, we are assisting a revival of Brezhnev era, with the same way of thinking, the same propaganda, but I think Russia is not the Soviet Union, and Russia now has not the power of the Soviet Union, and but Putin, for me now, it can be like a new Brezhnev, and he can freeze in this period, like Brezhnev did in the 70s, right? In the 70s.
So obviously, do you think that Putin wants to leave a good legacy in history, or what do you think his personal ambition is? Do you think he wants to keep collect as much land around him as possible, or does he want Russia to just be economically viable, or does he want to return to bipolar world where it's Russia against the United States?
He said that the end of the Soviet Union was the biggest catastrophe of the 20th century. And I think when you do analysis of the Russian economy, you can see that Putin is not an economist. Because when you see the economy of Russia, you say, okay, my God, you have to do a lot of reform, structural reforms. Then I think he read he doesn't take care about economy, because when you know economy, you manage Russia differently. I think he is in the way of thinking of post-Soviet mentality, and he still think like Russia is still an empire, and Russia has to grow or to manage as an empire. And that is really the Putin thinking. And but this is a 19th century way of thinking, or Soviet way of thinking. It's not the way of thinking of our century. Then, for me, really, he doesn't take care about economy. He must take care about the view he has for Russia, and this view is a view of a big empire.
Okay. Thank you. And just today we've been discussing the idea in the studio, something that's been circulating for a couple of days now, is the group that started for recreation of the Kiev Rus, the state that preceded Russia and Ukraine, that was based in Kiev in the 10th century, and basically, which obviously Kiev is a much older city than Moscow is, and the movement is actually, the movement wants to unite everyone who thinks of themselves as people belonging to Kiev and Rus. So, which means that it will be a strong state with the center in Kiev, and which also would include some of the Russian region where mainly Slavic people are living. This is sort of as a counter, I think this is part of the defense mechanism. If they want to include Ukraine into Russia, Ukraine has all the background in history that it was the state, the first state in terms of Kiev being the capital, and the Russia sort of grew out of it as the part, and then obviously it became stronger because it was supported by the Mongols who signed a treaty with them.
Yeah, I know the story. For me, I believe in large Europe, from Lisbon to Vladivostok, but with democratic values and human rights and all those EU values or universal values. It's not only EU values. And I believe in this Europe of Victor Hugo. Say that one day Russia, France, Germany, Italy, all those countries will be in European family. I believe in that, really. And I hope we will do that. We have no way without doing this large Europe, include all the European countries. And but all these large Europe, this union must be based on the European values, universal values like human rights, democracy, solidarity, dialogue, respect, equality, gender, all that.
Okay, so obviously something that could be possible, but not with Putin at the helm of the government.
We have to wait, yes. We have to wait, yes. I think that will be after Putin. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, Olivier, for coming tonight to the studio.
It was a pleasure.